Hello, my friends, and welcome to Adobe Max. I'm your host, Kieran, freelance designer from London, and we are streaming live from Munich, Germany. And we have the very awesome graphic designer, Bruna Souza. Bruna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Kieran. How
Yeah,
are you doing?
I'm awesome. Max has gone too fast, though. I feel like there was
Yeah,
so much awesome content, right? And we still got more, of course.
no, for sure. It definitely flies by. So we have a lot to get through today, and I'm going to try and make sure that we can get through it all without
Nice.
running out of time.
Sounds like a plan. We've got this, my friends. And as always, we try to make this stream as engaging as impossible. So please do get those comments, thoughts, chats, any suggestions in the chat. We love to see them as well. Just a little nice little heads up. We've got Oliver, Jan, Robert, Paloma, Frank, all our good friends. So yeah, again, massive welcome. Let us know where you're tuned in from. And yeah, and of course, this is a first take stream. So you're going to get a real insight into Illustrator, all the new updates and features using generative AI via Adobe Firefly. So, Rena, should we jump into it when you're ready?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So should I do a quick intro about myself?
Of course,
yeah.
you could. Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm a graphic designer, multimedia kind of graphic design. So that means that I work with a lot of different types of design, photography, websites, branding. Yeah. So
Nice.
I mean, I absolutely love the Adobe Suite to be able to use all the different types of softwares, and yeah, working with them in combination, usually you get like the best results.
Yeah. I'm a massive fan, by the FYI, of your site. It's absolutely the bomb. So like, I'm excited to see the
Oh,
work that you
thanks.
sort of pull out today and to show you lovely folks at home as well. So yeah, when
Yeah.
you're ready, we can jump straight into Illustrator.
Yep. Sounds good. So today I'm going to introduce a project that I've been working on. It's a personal project.
Nice.
It's based on mixed cultures. So I've basically been interviewing people that come from like a mixed cultural background. And then we have like a recorded interview. I turn the interview into a podcast episode.
Nice.
And then from the interviews, we actually select phrases that I feel stood out or were interesting. And then I ask the person to write the phrases out in their own home like language.
Okay.
And then we project that onto their face and we do a little photo shoot.
Nice.
So this is an example of the photos that have come from it.
Mm.
So I'm developing this project. I'm working on the branding at the moment, but I'm a little stuck. So I figured let's explore all the different AI
Perfect time
AI
to
generated
explore. Yeah,
features.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So, okay, to start with, I've got a little mood board here on the left.
Cool.
So actually, I prepared this in Behance, which is
Boom.
amazing. Also, another Adobe.
We love Behance here.
Platform.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course we
Behance, Behance.
tomato, but anyway, that's a whole different stream.
So I find it really handy to start any project just by going through Behance and yeah, saving different projects that inspire you. It can be a whole project or it can be just one image from a project, and then you can have it all neatly organized in one space for you to find.
Nice and clean, simple. Love that.
Yeah. So I've just screenshotted that in here for the purpose of this live stream and to describe, yeah, a bit of the concept. So the title I've landed on is Hybrid Horizons. And these are some of the colors that I've liked. I kind of drew them from the mood board on the left. You can see a lot of greens, some like yellows and oranges.
Nice color palette.
Yeah. So to further develop the branding, let's start with the text.
Cool.
So basically, I chose my paragraph font already, and that's going to be Degular, one of my favorite fonts. It's very clean, easy to read. But then for the actual title of the project, I want to use something funky. I want to use something expressive because I feel like that really makes sense with, I don't know, the idea of mixed cultures is very interlinked with like expressing yourself and your identity. And
be
I
your
feel
true
like,
self, right? And just, yeah, I get that.
Exactly.
Cool. Nice.
So what I've done is using the new Retype feature. Basically, I really like this particular font. And yeah, so it's super funky. I'm just gonna go ahead and crop that one a little bit smaller.
Can see a few lovely comments coming in the chat whilst you're doing that. We've got Lawrence said, I'm loving the colors already. Paloma saying, loving the projections on the face. So yeah, all positive energy. I'm loving that. Keep them coming, my friends.
Nice. All right, so for this, basically, you need to make sure that you have the latest version of Illustrator updated. And if you do, that means you have all the new features. All the AI
That's what we like
features.
to see. That's what we like to see.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is select the image first. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's very clear what I'm doing. Then in the properties panel,
Hmm.
if you have your image selected and you scroll all the way down, you'll see Retype beta. So it is a beta feature.
Cool.
So yeah, it's still in development, but I found it to be pretty effective so far.
Nice.
So what it does is that basically it can take text that's like static and it can turn it into editable text if the font happens to be in the Adobe Fonts
Cool.
library.
And there's so many as well, so I feel like we're covered. You're going to be covered in some capacity, right? Which
It's
is
ridiculous.
lovely.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then even if it doesn't have the actual font, it will provide options that are similar.
Nice.
So it can give you a good alternative. So this is the easiest way that I've ever found to be able to discover what a font is for a project. You know how many times I've had to like upload images on a website?
Those days have long gone now. That's in the past now. We're good for it now, aren't we?
Yeah. So here you can basically select the specific text that you want, and then you see it already has given me some options. So I think it looks closest to this one. So square, display, medium.
Awesome.
Found it super fast and easy. And then all you got to do is click apply. Now it says it's converted it to live text. You can exit to edit. And there you go. I can change.
My goodness,
on here.
We're definitely in the future now. It's just
that's awesome. Yeah, so it's super fast, super easy. You can also do this from outlined text. So let's say you have, let's just move this over to the side a little bit. Let's say that this is outlined from a different project and I can't find the original file. I don't know what the actual font is. You can do the same thing. So you can't edit it now, but if you go to Retype, it'll find it really quickly.
I can see, and also we've got some folks who are also super excited about this new type feature, just as much as we are. We've got Jake, he said, retyping the thing I'm most excited about, all from Max. I mean, there's a lot of awesome stuff, but there's like those little gems, and I feel like this is one of those sort of game changer gems for sure. And yeah, Matrice as well is obviously put game changer in big capital letters, so a lot of positive energy coming through. We love it.
Yeah. So okay, so now we've got our font. What is it called again? Square Display. Yeah, Square Display. This one's medium, so I'm actually going to go ahead and just eyedrop the font. Then I've got it. But I think I might want it a little bit thicker. So let's see. If I've already activated the fonts in my library, I've got all the different versions.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with a.
Whilst you're doing that, we've got a great comment from Curtis as well, and I totally agree with this one. No more going through websites to try and find a match for fonts. I feel like, again, this whole idea of streamlining your process now, or just why do that to yourself when you can just pop onto Illustrator, Adobe Fly, and boom.
Exactly. It just saves you so much time, and you're in the software anyway. So in the past, you'd have to actually move out of the software, and that's really disruptive. Yeah, it's just making our lives easier.
Nice. That's what we like.
So now I've got the font. The next step is I've got the colors, I've got some fonts, but I'm not really sure what I want to do with like extra graphics.
Okay.
So I want to use a bit of the generative features just so it can generate some kind of a subject or an image or an icon. And I'm looking for something that I can use like in conjunction with the gradients and maybe with images as well. So yeah, let's see what we can get. Cool. If I just start with.
Whilst you're doing that, we've got a question from Joseph. I think this is maybe perhaps within this project in itself. How many fonts do you tend to use probably per project? Different ranges, but
that's a good question.
Yeah, nice one, Joseph. Keep them coming through. What would you say?
I mean, I think the standard would probably be about 2. I think it's better to keep it simple. And I mean, I do a lot of UX and UI design as well. So usually it's good to have a standard body font that's like very readable and so you can communicate the most amount of information that you need. Or if you're doing packaging as well, then you want the packaging to be legible on like the ingredients of your product, for example. So then I would say if you then have like a header font for a website or a logo font for a product, then you can get funky, you know?
It's okay to mix it up. I always find it's okay to like occasionally, sans serif and serif font and mix it up. As long as, again, that keyword legibility, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the key, so it's accessible to all folks' eyes. So it's a great question, Joseph. Again, any questions on Bruna's branding process, let us know.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so going back to the properties panel, I've just created a blank square, and in this, we can use the yeah, the generative prompting. So let's just push that to the side a little. There we go. Yeah, so essentially you can type in anything that you want and it'll generate it. So it has a few different options. The first is subject. So that'll be like an object within this space that you've selected. Scene, which would fill the full space of it, kind of like creating a landscape or a background. Icon, which I'm assuming would be a little bit more simple and smaller. And a pattern. So I'm going to start with a subject. And I don't know, do you have any suggestions of something that I could use? Maybe
anything within the realm of just anything creative, or just
I mean, let's
within branding,
related to this project.
Of course,
so something
yeah,
culture related.
Hone it back in.
I don't know, maybe an object. Maybe it can be decorative. It could be like a plant or a sun or a passport.
Passports could be quite cool because they're all quite decorative, right? When you look inside, depending on the branding and where they're from.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
that's quite cool. I kind of geek out and look at that, but anyway, that's a whole different stream. But yeah, we could do passports maybe.
Yeah, let's do that.
Patent passports. Cool.
Start with passport, and I'll just type it in. It'll generate it for me, and this is as a subject. So
cool.
Yeah.
Which FYI for anyone's thinking, it's not going to be actual like a picture of someone's passport. Just any disclaimers that it's going to be some nice, generic, awesome passport shots like this one. There we go.
We're not trying to do any forgery on the live stream. All right, so we've got a few different options.
Cool.
I like how it's a bit ambiguous with the language. So it could be Thai, it could be English. You don't really know.
Mix it up, yeah. Again, you can obviously edit it as well, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Going back to what we did before, so
anything that you
can mix it up.
And I do think it's useful that here, okay, so actually there's a little detail slider and it was on the highest amount of detail, but you can also adjust it to something lower. So let's say I want something a bit simpler. Let's see if I type it in again, and just by adjusting that slider, hopefully it's going to give us a slightly less detailed, slightly less complex graphic.
Nice. We've got some awesome, when you asked me what patterns we go for, I feel like mine wasn't great, but we've got some great ones in here. We've got a feather, waves. I guess in keeping with the whole projection on the face, right? Because it's going to be different angles. Great comments, my friends.
Waves, I like that. Yeah, keep them coming because I'm gonna want some suggestions.
Nice.
So these actually, I feel like they look really nice. I like that the gradient is just simple and smooth.
Definitely a sucker for gradients, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell? It's like if you look through my work, it's just gradients and gradients. Okay, well, I'm not 100% happy with this. So let's switch to an icon. Let's see if we can make it even simpler.
Nice.
Or do we want to do something different? Maybe let's do a feather. We had that suggestion.
Yeah, that was a great suggestion, actually. Yeah.
So
that was by Audrey.
Audrey, thank you, Audrey.
There we go.
All right, let's see what it gives us. Oh yeah, and I've changed the type of generation from a subject to an icon. So with an icon, it'll hopefully be even simpler.
More simpler now, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Okay, so we got an option with like a rounded background, almost like you would have a web app icon.
Yeah,
that's useful. Sure. Or even simpler like these. Okay. Cool.
Do you ever find as well, like the awesome thing is when you sort of type it in, it's like the excitement of what's going to come out next, and just keep on. I think we had that on the previous stream. Like you just keep on going deeper and deeper because you just don't know it's going to end. It's awesome.
No, it's super handy, and because you can just experiment as much as you want by typing in a few words and just pressing enter. So it's not like it takes a lot of effort. You just have to have a bit of patience to wait for the generation.
Just on that as well, I guess when you find maybe one that you think is cool, but maybe not necessarily the one that you want just yet, you can always edit that as well, right?
Yeah.
To get it to what you want it to be. So it's almost like a foundation set that allows you to kind of move on, which is cool.
No, definitely. And so the handy thing about this is that it's generating a vector. So whatever results that you're receiving from this is completely editable.
Nice.
So I can like adjust that. So okay, apparently has different layers. But yeah, I can like make this, let's say I want this feather to be a little bit like more purplish or whatever with less detail. Like you can adjust everything. So super handy. Okay. I have an idea.
Yes, mix it up.
So
like that.
I want to do a pattern. And I think if we have a subject and we generate a pattern, then I'm actually going to get like many different shapes all at the same time. And then from that pattern, I can select a bunch and they'll all be in a similar style. So I'm thinking maybe that'll be a good collection that I can work with. So let's change to pattern.
Mix it up.
Got this selected. Yep.
We got some awesome comments there. Kerry said Inception typing. Yes, the type within the type within the type, and just keep on going. Yes, we love a good design pun here. And also as well, some great comments about when they saw this feature on the keynote, they were super impressed by Jan. So that's awesome to know how you kind of watched your keynotes and you've come into these sessions and seen how it's kind of applied. So you can come in.
I think I'm gonna go for like abstract shapes.
Cool. Mix it up.
Maybe abstract brush shapes, because I think I want like a hand drawn kind of feel.
Nice. So not too like rounded edges, not too perfect, just a bit more.
Exactly. I think it fits with the theme of expression, of mixed cultural identities. It's not really like one solid thing. It's organic, it's moving, so it can be a bit more natural.
I get that. Yeah,
so, I get that. Yeah, with branding, you always want to try and make sure that conceptually, whatever you're creating makes sense with the brand or the project that you're working on.
Yeah, that's a great gem, no, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm liking this. This is a bit more what I was looking for.
Nice.
So second option has some cute little plants, maybe some flowers. I like that there's some abstract shapes because I want to work with that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a very
That's cool. I like that one actually. Cool for like a gift wrapping paper, right?
Yeah,
true. A piece of it, yeah.
Yeah. No, and so also if you want to create a pattern, like this is a super simple, easy way to have like 3 different variations. You can adjust the content of it. And you can limit the colors, which I also find really handy. Nice. So for example, you can select a preset with different, one of the options of the presets, so black and white or super vibrant, or you can actually, set a limitation of the amount of colors.
Nice.
Or you can even specify the exact ones.
It's that flexibility, right? I guess as designers, we kind of want to go in and just make it our own, and you're able to do it right now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We've got a comment actually here from Zuri, and actually they were talking about they've tried to use the pattern generative tool. They're a little bit confused with it, but hopefully you're seeing it now, so hopefully it answers your question. And again, rewatch them if you want to the stream, and then find out again how to do it.
Yeah. No, and keep asking if you've got any questions or things that you're curious about or that you want to see us test out. We can also test it out while we're here. You might as well. Okay, so I'm actually going to add those colors so that I can use them in the prompt. Cool. So I've selected the colors that I want. I'm going to go to my swatches and create a new color group. Call this the name of my project.
This is a great question. We've got Aditya, I hope I said it correctly. What about combining 3 patterns together? I mean, do you mean like overlapping? And I mean, we don't know how that could end, but also quite exciting. But who knows? But when you're in a good place, we could, I don't know, maybe mix it up.
I mean, it's an option.
I like the thinking out the box there, those kind of questions. But yeah, it's a little bit like, nice.
Okay, so let's add the colors. So now that I've added them to my swatches, I've got a little folder here with my color palette. So I can add one by one. Or can I do it at the same time? No. Okay. If you select a different color while it's still selected on here, then it changes that one. So you got to add each one. Let's add like maybe 1 or 2 greens, and then I think we're good. Nice. Oh, okay. There's a limit. Good to know. Okay. All right. We can work with this. So let's generate it again and see what we get.
I'm loving the comments. You've got so many like wows and like this is awesome just popping up on every channel, or obviously streaming on YouTube, Enhance and Max, of course. So yeah, lovely to sort of see those comments. And again, anything you're seeing now and thinking, oh, I've tried that, I'm a bit confused how to, let us know and we can do maybe a quick demo on here now. So
yeah, for sure. Yep. It also
yeah, that took us by surprise, that one. It's like nice. Almost like kiwi style. I don't know why.
Yeah, it looks like fruit and kiwis. Ooh, okay. I'm liking this one. I feel like the colors are more aligned with the gradients and stuff. Okay, so nice. I'm gonna stick with this one, but also one final note before we move on from this feature is that there's so many different options that it saves. So that's really handy. Nice. So everything that you've generated, it'll keep here in this panel. And if you keep generating more, you can just scroll down and your whole collection will be there. So if you ever want to go back, you can also delete them if you feel like it's getting in the way.
I feel that's like super useful for me projects that you've done maybe a few months back, and then you go back and revert back to them. Oh yeah, I forgot I had those actually. And it's nice dip back into it, right?
Yeah, that's super handy. And just a quick note, because I was experimenting with it, and for each different thing that you generate, it saved the variations under that one. So for example, now we have the pattern. The passports are not under the pattern, so you have to make
Okay.
sure that you're under the right area,
Cool.
or category that you've searched in to make sure that you're getting that whole history collection.
Nice.
All right, so now I've got this pattern. By the way, all the patterns have automatically been saved to your library as a swatch.
Nice. Okay.
So if you want to use it, you can
We're good for it.
literally make a shape and just.
We've got a good question actually about will these designs be high res and print ready? And obviously because they're vector, they're kind of good to go. So
for sure.
yeah, it's one of those ones you can play around with it, and you know it's going to be sharp when you go to print, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That's the whole beauty of it. Okay, so let's dive into the pattern actually. So if I look at the swatch, where it's this one, right? Yeah. If I double click it, then it brings me to the actual vector of like the pattern of the swatch. And so here I can actually adjust things or select them. So I'm actually gonna copy these and just put done. Then if we come back here, I've got all those shapes and I can do whatever I want with them.
Nice. Just whilst you're in the flow, though, we've got a great comment from Anne who said, now that obviously there's awesome new feature, you can actually visualize these on clothing. So again, that's quite nice with the mock-ups that we do in bits and bobs. But I mean, don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, we're in a good point. Everyone's reading our minds, Anna. But yeah, it's cool to sort of see how that can work in clothing, and we'll do some mock-ups shortly.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm just selecting a few of the shapes that I like to see how I could use them in the branding. I want them to be a bit abstract, so I feel like this is the direction that I was looking for. So that I can kind of use them, in combination with the gradients and stuff.
Nice. Got a very interesting question here actually, and there's a few people actually agreeing on it, so I've got to definitely dive into it. So from Kelly, he said, I'm interested in knowing if two people type in the same keyword, will they both get the same image? Yeah, that's interesting.
That's a very good question, but I think the answer is no, because every time it generates something.
Exactly, it's learning, right, as it goes along, and the more you find and research, I feel like it's getting smarter with the whole idea of the process. But to be fair, that's also a good time to maybe test it out. If you're at home with another friend, you can just be, let's try it as a, pattern, and actually, why not? So great question, Kelly. So again, keep them coming.
Yeah, no, and it's great because also, even if you're not happy with the amount that it's generated, you can generate the same prompt. So you can type the same thing in and it'll give you new results. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's different every time. It's unique every time, which is pretty cool if you think about it.
For sure.
Okay, so we've got some shapes. Now let's move on to recoloring.
Ooh, cool.
So AI can now change all the colors of an image that you have, or a graphic or a vector or whatever, and just by you writing a description, which is super handy.
My mind is blown.
So let's see if I like added these onto these backgrounds. See maybe like a shape or two just randomly.
Whilst you're on the flow of that, nice question from Pete, who said, can I match the style like in Photoshop? So it's almost like eye dropping it in a way, the colors. But
that's a good question. Yeah. I do not know, but you should look into it.
And to be fair, I mean, we actually obviously we're focusing in Illustrator now, but that's a good chance to rewatch some of the other streams, because we definitely dived into Photoshop and other brands, other programs as well. So so yeah, rewatch them and then let us know in the chat. So it'd be great to know.
Yeah, for sure. So actually, because we're talking about Photoshop, so one image that I had from this photo shoot, this one in particular.
Nice.
I was not really happy with the background of this image, so I actually used the AI regenerative fill to.
One of my favorite tools, that.
Yeah, look, sure. This is one that I made earlier. Yeah, so this is the result, but the original image had this like curtain, and I don't know, I just wasn't happy with it. Yeah, it just wasn't working for me, so I used the generative prompts, and I thought maybe having plants in the background would be nice. So here are just some options that it gave me. The idea is for each of the kind of image sets, maybe I would want to have like a different colored background. So for this one, I would want something that might match it a little bit better. So if we grab our generative recolor. So first, let me group everything together. So it's like one image. Let's zoom in a little. If I want to have this match the photos above, what kind of prompts do you think we should type in? Something like
Ooh.
blue, winter, silver. I don't know.
I don't know why I put ice, frozen. I don't know. Are the same keywords?
Yeah, good work.
Could do. Ocean, yeah.
Sorry.
I said very creative on my part. It's like blue, ocean.
It works.
Yeah, it does. It is blue, to be fair.
I mean, it turned out really nicely. I feel like her eyes were really cool in this shot.
It's good lighting on that. Very good lighting.
Okay, so as you can tell from the preview, it looks like it didn't work properly, but actually, if you click on it, it has, because I tested this earlier and I have the same thing. So I think that maybe the gradients, it's, you know, the features are all still in beta, so they're still developing them. But yeah, so I think the gradients are a little bit difficult for the program to like preview in the little thumbnails, but it still does work. So we've got all these different options.
Nice. And we're forever updating, right? So I feel like it's one of those ones where, and again, I've had this in a few streams before, anything, you know, comments that you think could be quite cool to see, always let us know, because again, that we could be implemented in a new update, a new feature, and it's for the community, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to ask for what you want.
For sure.
Okay, so I quite like this one. I think it matches really well. So we're just going to go for that. And if I click away, then the panel disappears. Now we've got a nice background that actually suits these images. So it won't look as like jarring if they're...
And it's amazing because once you add this different colors, it feels like a different mood, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing how like this kind of color theory and emotion kind of comes to play.
Yeah. So there we go. We've got our first recolor. Maybe let's test out the other one.
Nice.
Let's grab... Well, this one is already a little bit greenish, so maybe let's just test this one. Let's go for some reds, maybe a little bit of green. Maybe already think in the chat, or you, Kieran, of what we could prompt it to match this kind of style, vibe, colors. What are we thinking, people?
Let us know in the chat, and hopefully it's all working okay. I can see a few it's buffering, but hopefully it's working okay. And if it is buffering, that's a good excuse to rewatch the stream again. Yeah, make sure you can watch it and make sure you catch everything you're seeing. Okay.
Do we have any suggestions yet? Or
no. So can you repeat what you said?
Yeah,
for anyone if it's buffering as well. So
no.
Back in the room again now.
No, for sure. Okay, so now we're gonna prompt to recolor this selection, and we want it to match the images on top. So what would we type in to get a kind of vibe or colors to match these two photos?
So the plants.
We have any suggestions?
Yeah. Ooh, let us know. Interesting. We've got cyberpunk, watermelon.
Cyberpunk?
Yeah, wow. I'm liking that.
Ooh,
okay.
I like that.
Okay. Cool heat lamp. There we go. Lava lamp there for a second, but keep it coming. You like to see it. The watermelon's an interesting one actually, and like the cyberpunk.
Yeah. Wait. So steam? Should we do steampunk watermelon?
Yes. What? I love the color combination there. Just like we had 2 comments, we made it work in a collaborative style. Let's see what pops up.
Oh my god. Okay. And so this one, that's so funny. So this one actually rendered the gradient in the background. And it's funny because the previous one, it's let's see, the type of gradient that I chose is the one with the little dots. So let me just go into the gradient panel.
I've got to read one of the suggestions only because I absolutely love it. Guacamole popped up from Karen. Karen said guacamole. Yes, guacamole has a place on Adobe Live.
Yes, I love guacamole.
Raspberry lime. Yeah, watermelon's coming up.
Groovy
Watermelon by Jessica. I mean, I've got a fruit kind of like vibe now. Yeah, I was hungry now. But anyway.
Definitely. That's a great way like to style your prompts is after fruits.
Yes, good show.
Yeah, because they're very colorful and it works really well.
Nice.
As we know, steampunk watermelon.
I mean, it's been done before, so why not? Obviously, yeah. Cool.
But yeah, so just to what I was saying earlier, this type of gradient, it's the point gradient. So you can actually select different points, and it's like a slightly more complex gradient, I guess. And then this one was made with a mesh. So I'm guessing the mesh is maybe simpler in the software and easier to render.
Nice.
So, I can't find it.
We've got a comment here from Penny, and I totally agree with this. Once we get on the food topics, we can't stop. And as much as we want to integrate food of desire, we've got about 9 minutes, so we can definitely go for another stream. But also, that's a good reminder to say we've got 9 minutes or so. Get those comments and questions in, and things you would like to see Bruna do as well.
Yeah. Here we go. We've got some steampunk
Oh,
watermelons.
I'm feeling that. Jazzy.
So
Yeah.
this one's super vibrant, very contrasty. This one's a little more cohesive. Kind of like
The
pastel.
folks are super creative in the chat today. Again, I've got to read these out. We've got Ryan who said private raspberry sunset. Question mark. Wow. I mean, you folks are just 10 points for creativity. I'm feeling it for sure. Galaxy stars. We've got Kool-Aid from Anna. There we go.
Ooh,
we gave you a challenge and you
vibrant.
guys are absolutely delivering.
Yeah, this is amazing. I feel like I can't even come up with prompts as
We don't need to.
creative
We've
as
got our
these.
community just to give us all these vibes, which is great.
Crazy. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go for the pastel one.
Cool. Yeah, it works quite well, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
I like how that ended up. And then I feel like these images will look pretty good on top. Yeah, because it's a bit more subtle. And then I feel like if I use one of the crazier, more vibrant colors, then the attention will be drawn away.
The clash,
from,
right?
Yeah, from the actual image.
Cool. I get that.
So, all right, we're almost reaching the end of the stream, and luckily we've actually gone through everything.
Ooh,
so
nice. That's nice to go back and then we can sort of touch on some more, right? Which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just gonna like mock everything up in the last slide as if it were like an Instagram post or something. But yeah, if anyone has something that they want to
I love that. Yeah.
suggest.
The comment there we've got Mia said best chat in capital letters ever. There we go. We've set the bar. Bruna, we set the bar.
Love it.
Yeah. I think it all started off with the sunset raspberry, whichever that one that comment raspberry. There we go.
Yeah, that one's fantastic. Okay, so I'm actually gonna make this as if it was like 3 Instagram posts in one carousel. Yeah, and I like having continuous background.
That works quite well, right?
Yeah.
I guess folks start to. I always think like folks start to familiarize themselves more with colors and shapes, sometimes more than text. So, I mean, that's how my brain tends to work. But again, it's nice to sort of see how these color palettes, for consistency purposes, especially on social media, right?
No, for sure. Yeah, so let's grab. Okay, this is the subject's name. So this is Daphne. Let's change the font to our square display. It's black italic salati. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Got that funky colors going on. And now we can use the same colors that we've generated from the background and the shapes. So we can make it.
We've got some definitely some questions coming in thick and fast. So we've got, is there a 3D option? Do we know? Ooh, I feel like it's one of those ones we have to experiment and maybe see later, but yeah.
I mean, that would be really handy.
That'd be awesome to mix it up. If you're playing around with it, let us know. That's really cool, quite cool to see what you come up with. And again, some comments on here about, is the generative AI available Illustrator for iPad? Do we know?
Also, not 100% sure. I don't have an iPad. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I don't actually.
I'm old school. I use my mouse and my trackpad.
But I feel like, yeah, for sure, it's one of those ones where there's so much stuff that just makes it easier across every device that you use, right? So there we go.
No, for sure. Yeah, and I mean the features are being worked on for like mobile as well. So and they even have like the web browser now, the Illustrator on web. So that's handy if you don't have like the software, if you don't have space to download it, or if your laptop isn't compatible.
And that's a nice plug to mention. We had a few streams before where we touched on as well on the web Illustrator. So if you're hearing it for the first time, that's like, oh, after the stream, I want to really tap into that. So rewatch some of the streams because of course they'll be online. Yeah. Nice. We've got Joseph. Some awesome comments there. We've got Joseph. Thank you for teaching us. It's super useful. And saying, thanks very much. Very fun, very informative. Got my creative juices flowing. I've got design pun there. Yeah. And all right, best chat of the day. I've got to put this out there. Comment. Mariah said, hashtag a steampunk watermelon will be trending shortly. There we go.
That's for sure. Steampunk watermelon.
We made a movement. I love it.
All right. I'm just experimenting here, but yeah, so now I have all these assets that I can work with that are amazing. I found my font really easily. I changed the color palette so I can have my branding suit like different variations. So that's quite handy when you're also when you're doing things. I was just thinking of like a product that has different flavors.
Yes.
Like fruit flavors or smoothies, juices or
That's a good shout. I feel like this kind of, that's a good point. Like these kind of like branding styles will work so well with like food and drink, right?
Yes.
Because again, the flavors and it's the fruit, like you said, which is awesome.
Yeah. This is super handy. All right. Well, I'm happy with this. I would probably export this with like separate different artboards and have like carousel with 3 or 4 posts.
Nice.
Yeah.
And again, all the comments have been feeling like freaking fast. Mia said, beautiful end result, great balance.
Oh.
Yeah, awesome word to say. And again, we've got about 4 minutes, so that's a good time to mention any, again, last minute things you want to see. Now is definitely a time to kind of get them in there. So yeah, love to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, since we have the time, I'm just gonna prep a few others. Yeah, this one's kind of funny. It looks like an orange. Why does everything remind me of fruit now? It's just.
It's funny we had done our previous stream, didn't we? A giant orange in the sky there with Tara in this. So yeah, we've got food in the brain here today at Adobe Live. There we go.
All right, this one. Maybe
we've got a question here from Curtis about are the AI features on the web Illustrator version. So hopefully they're updated there.
I think so, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it should be if they're all updated, which is good.
Yeah, so that's also handy because then everything is the same as you would have. I do think that they have less tools. So it's not the full
point, yeah.
Like set of toolbars and features that you can do, but I'm pretty sure that the AI ones
I think that's quite nice though, because I think we had that yesterday where if you're quite new to these design programs and you go on the web version, and I guess for like confidence purposes, you go in it, you think, okay, I can hack this, a few tools, and then you think, oh, to plunge into the deep end and maybe jump onto the programs itself, and then there's more stuff to do. So depending on your level, you work to what you want to do.
Oh, for sure. All right, got another one.
Oh, okay. I do love that font, by the way. Again, going back to that, it is a cool font.
It's nice, right?
Yeah,
it's like super funky. Has a lot of personality.
And the content, of course, of the project. We can't forget that as well. That's just as important.
Yeah.
Girls look at that colours and shape. It's like the content is also quite cool as well. To what you're saying, which is nice.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I think this is our final results.
Nice. So we've got again, some great comments in here. We've got Aditya who said, "Whoa, this is looking amazing." We've also got Amy who said, "You're so great at fielding these questions. Given the presentation that failed, good job. Thank you." There we go.
Well done.
Didn't mean to read that, but plug your own yourself. So yeah, again, this is quite nice to sort of see how it's all working out. So I feel like we're at that point where we're at the end, perhaps, of the stream. I feel like we need to have like emoji claps just for Bruna going through those things, because I want to see like a wave of emoji chats of like claps, because there was a lot of interesting things to dive in and then go through. And I feel like for anyone watching it and still don't know, they have to experiment, right? That's how they kind of get into it. You have to experiment and play around with it.
Yeah, for sure. And the whole point of having these features is for you to experiment. So anything that I've done today is like not even scratching the surface, and you can do so many different things with it. So, get in there, play around, use different prompts, like mix things up, and you're only gonna come up with a result that you like if you test it out. And AI allows us to do it at such a faster pace, so you don't have to spend as much time executing little things that used to take like ages, and now it
makes it more fun, right, as well. I feel that's the key for a lot of design. Like we've got things to do, right? So it's like we're all so busy. So so that's basically towards the end now of it is the end of our stream. So we do hope you have enjoyed watching along. I mean, the comments and the chats were pretty popping off, so that's always refreshing to see.
Sounds like people enjoyed themselves. I know I did.
I mean, I saw a lot of folks putting in like fruits and veg, so I feel like you've watched it, you've been inspired, but you're also quite hungry now. So there we go, because we're ending now. So yeah, just to end on a nice note, hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you can jump out into the world and play around with your own features on these programs, and to let us know. And of course, share them as well on behalf, share them on social media, tag it on Max and whatnot. So so until next time, next Max, keep on experimenting. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all very, very soon.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao, ciao.